But there's a book in the Bible called Leviticus. I'm sure you've been reading it recently. And in Leviticus chapter 18, around verse 1, 2, and 3, he says, I've called you out of these nations so that you would not live like them, so that your sexual behavior would not be like theirs. In other words, the culture around you is sexually immoral. And I've called you, the Israelites, out from among them, and I don't want you to behave like them. I want you to behave in a different way sexually because you're my covenant people. I want you to know how, as my people, to conduct yourself. Leviticus 18 is a really weird chapter. God says some things like, don't have sex with animals. Now, I had a boxer named Nestle, my dog, and I love my dog, but I never saw Nestle walk in front of me and thought that Nestle was that cute that I'd be interested. Just never thought that. But it's also interesting that when I say that Adam did the same thing. Why? Because before his wife came, God allowed Adam to have all the animals pass by him, and he named them all. When he named them all, Adam saw that there was not a suitable helper for him. And what did God do? After Mr. Hippopotamus and Miss Hippopotamus passed by, after Mr. and Mrs. Giraffe passed by, Adam says, well, what I have? And God then gives him a woman. And now the woman was designed to help him rule. She was his partner, his joint heir in the faith. She was his woman, his co-laborer, that they would serve the Lord together. And so the important thing is this, is that God gave us a woman or a wife to labor with and to serve God with, to come alongside and help us to fulfill what God has called us to do. She's not just some sex object that we are engaged in or some piece of eye candy. She is a woman that God has brought along our sides. He who finds a wife finds a good thing and obtains favor from God. Not he who finds a girlfriend. He who finds a wife, someone that you would commit your life with, helps you to find favor with the Lord. So when we have a proper perspective on a woman and who she is designed to be in the life of a man, it changes our whole perspective on sex. God, Genesis 1 verse 31, looks at his creation and says it is all good. It's very good. God doesn't have a problem with sex. He has a problem with sexual immorality. That's where God's problem rests, with sexual immorality. When you look at the word immorality in the Greek language, it's the word porneia, where we get our word pornography from. It means all forms of illicit sex, anything done outside of the marriage covenant. That's what God says the problem is. But see, here's the deal. We have allowed the culture to talk about sex when the culture is really talking about sin. And because the church's voice is quiet and we have our radio volume on zero when it comes to the subject of sex, yet our Father, the manufacturer, is the one who created sex and has been talking about it from Genesis chapter 1 throughout all of the Bible, but the church is quiet, so the culture has now turned this pornographic industry into a billion-dollar industry while the church is sitting here with members struggling in this area in their lives and not talking about it.